Welcome back. Right now, we're going to go deep into talking about what is surrendered manifestation and how you can utilize surrendered manifestation as a tool to accelerate your results. Now, before we get there, it's really important to understand what manifestation is and really understand the process of manifestation. I was recently speaking at an event in Dubai, and this was a very corporate, serious event. And someone came up to me and said, "Oh, Regan, I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for being here." And I said, "Oh, you're so welcome. It's an honor to be here." And he said, I'm a businessman and I'm a CEO and I hear you speaking about manifestation. And I said, "Yes." And he looked at me and he said, "What is that?" And I looked at him and I said, "Wow, manifestation is a magical process. It's a process that all humans have the capacity to tap into. It's not a God-given gift that some people have and some people don't know. It's something that's available within each and every single one of us if you understand the process, if you understand how it works." And I went on to explain to him that the process of manifestation is really taking something that is a dream, a vision, an intention, and allowing that to be embodied and anchored through you so that it physically shows up in your life. And I saw his face. He was like, "Oh, yeah." And you could see his recollection around, not only have I done that before, but wow, now that I have intention around that, this is powerful. And this is powerful for each and every single one of you. And now that you know the framework of manifestation, we're taking this much, much deeper. There are two different types of manifestation processes, and we're going to be talking on both of them so you can understand what manifestation is not, so you can understand how actually most people are manifesting, which is extremely dangerous. This first way of manifesting is called manufactured manifestation. Now, why is this dangerous? It's dangerous because it actually does work. It's dangerous because it can get you what you desire. But if you are using a process of manufactured manifestation, I promise you, you will hit a cap at some point. I promise you, you will have to work harder. I promise you, you'll have to push and struggle and hustle at some point. At least 98% of the world function from a space of manufactured manifestation. What is manufactured manifestation? Manufactured manifestation is when you are attempting to control every step of the process, every step of the way of how your manifestation is to come into your life. Now, I want you to think about this, because when we look at manifestation and think of something amazing that you have manifested, a vision, an idea that's now here in your life. Maybe it's a health goal that you achieved. Maybe it's a beautiful relationship that you have. Maybe it's a money goal. If you trace that back and you look at your past and you start realizing that, hang on, this really wouldn't have happened unless I went to that event and then met that person and said yes to that and then figured this out and then flew here and did this and and you start realizing, wow, hang on, there was a whole divine process that took place in order for this manifestation to show up. And you start realizing that, wow, hang on, yeah, I had some intentions and I did some things, but I didn't really control that whole divine process. So when you start remembering this and you start remembering that, okay, that's the manufactured, controlling way of getting to some sort of vision, dream, or goal, you start asking yourself, well, if it's not that, then how do I manifest? And this is where we start talking about a different way to manifest. This is where we start talking about what I call surrendered manifestation, remembering that we're born manifestors, but how we are manifesting makes a big difference to our results and how they show up. So when you're going deeper into surrendered manifestation, you're remembering that if you're not trying to control every little detail, you're allowing yourself to surrender and you're coming from your soul. When you're manufacturing the process, you're obsessed with trying to control every little piece. But when you're surrendering into the manifestation process, you're remembering that this is a co-creation. This is a co-creation with God or spirit or the universe, whatever label you'd like to use. And you start realizing that things can show up divinely in your life through synchronicity, through ease, through grace, and through flow. You see, when you're attempting to manufacture the results, again, you've got to work hard, you've got to push, you've got to struggle. It's that frequency. But when you're in a place of surrender, you're open. You're available. You're allowing the magic and the miracles to flow through you whilst still being intentional, whilst still showing up, whilst still taking the aligned action. Remember that 20% in the action you take is still important. I have seen so many of my clients shift from manufactured manifestation through to surrendered manifestation. And I've seen them change their lives just with this. For me, I was in a place where I was 23 years old and I just manifested my first $1 million in that company. And I said, okay, well, I want to impact more people. I want to generate even more income. And I started trying to do all these things differently. I started trying to figure out and take different action and join the pieces together. And I still kept making the same amount of money each and every single month until I understood surrendered manifestation, until I understood that, hang on, there's a greater process available. And the minute I understood this and I went deeper into surrendered manifestation, my money results, my impact results, my service results, everything shifted through that company and through my life. And I've seen so many of my clients activate this as well. So the question now is, okay, I understand surrendered manifestation, and you're probably thinking, yes, I would love to live my life from this place. How do you get into surrendered manifestation? How does this work? Well, here's what's interesting. Surrendered manifestation is your natural state. It's who you are at your core. You're not born to control everything and struggle and push and hustle. No, you're born to be. You're born to allow. You're born to receive. So instead of how do I tap into surrendered manifestation, the question really actually is what's blocking it? What's stopping you from being in your natural state of surrendered manifestation? And there's one answer to that: control. So when it comes to understanding control, it's important to remember that the things we can control are our intentions. The things we can control is anchoring in our desires, but ultimately we can't fully control how our intentions will manifest. We can't control exactly how something is going to show up. And if we do that, we block our manifestation. So the key to this is to surrender the how. The key to this is to surrender and be okay with maybe not knowing exactly how this is going to happen. We're going to talk about how to go deeper on this and with the next lesson. But for now, it's important that we start anchoring in some of this soul work. So I want to hear from you for your first piece of soul work. What are your biggest takeaways and breakthroughs and aha moments from this lesson specifically? Go ahead and post them with the tribe so you can be witnessed and seen, and also share your breakthroughs together. Then for the second piece of soul work, go ahead and create a list of all of the ways that you have attempted to control the process of manifestation. For example, maybe you've overthought things in the past. Maybe you've said, okay, I want this to happen, but it has to happen like this. Maybe you haven't been open to the infinite possibilities and the magical synchronistic ways that the universe is looking to line up your manifestations in front of you. Get clear on that. And then for task number 3, I want to hear your commitments. We talked about this in the very beginning. Manifestation is a deep process of your own commitments. So what are you now committed to either no longer doing or saying or thinking in order to actually relinquish control and condition yourself piece by piece, day by day, moment by moment, into a state of surrendered manifestation? What's going to change? What's going to change on the inside? What's going to change on the outside? What does that look like? I'm so excited for you to go deep with this, and we are peeling back even more layers. So make sure you get really clear and specific with these layers of soul work, because I'm excited to go into the next steps of the process with you. Enjoy.